funny how difficult it is to see slow change over years and years. Although we both would have said we need to lose weight or we should probably work out a bit, and we attempted some pretty ridiculous diets, the weight always came back and there was never any real long-term change for either of us. Of course, all of that changes when you're told you're going to die if something doesn't change. So why do you like fishing at this pond?
Who?
You.
Me? Just no one's here, typically. And you usually can catch catfish every time.
Nice.
Unless you're filming.
Unless you're filming. It's surprising to me because Aaron has always been in what appeared to be good health. Sure, there were some years when his weight was higher, although hindsight is often where that really shows up. But he worked very hard daily at a physical labor job. I thought the food he ate was simply fueling the hard work he was putting in. And of course, the phrase that often gets me in trouble too, he earned it by working hard.
Yeah, so I've been having some health problems. I've been dealing with some high blood pressure. And about 6 months ago I was put on medication, which I think has helped a little bit. But I've also had some issues with my fasting glucose being about 130 for about 2 years. And I went to the doctor again this last Monday and it came back that my fasting glucose was about 130, A1C about 6.0, and I got a message back saying, hey, we want to put you on a statin and like an oral type 2 diabetes medication. And I knew that I had problems, and I've been trying to diet, and I've done well, and then you fall off the wagon. It's like I can go forever and eat no carbs and do a keto diet or something like that, and I do great, and then I hit a wall and it seems like I eat 3 carbs and I gain 10 pounds immediately. So I walk around, a lot of people say I carry my weight well. I mean, I feel like I do. Like, I do physical labor. I move a lot of furniture for a living, do a lot of cardio. I've been running, I lift weights. I go on stints. I'm not doing it all the time, but I'm trying, but it's not working. And something about the doctor just saying I'm going to put you on medication just kind of got me angry, because not once did they tell me I should go on a diet. Not once did they say I should watch what I eat. All they said is, oh, we'll watch these numbers, right? But I knew there was something going on and knew there needed to be some changes, and I don't know what to do. I don't think normal, just regular people, I think I got regular intelligence. Like, I don't know, some may disagree, but people don't know what to do. What do you do? And obviously it's going to be different for all different types of people and their lifestyles, but it seems for me that if I eat carbs, I gain weight. If I eat sugar, I gain weight. If I eat fruits and vegetables, fruits and stuff with even natural sugars, I gain weight. Grains, starches, I gain weight. I don't want to die anytime soon.
Type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure were not what I was expecting to hear, and I think it was a wake-up call. Aaron had a choice: take the medicine or do something drastic.
All right, day 11 of the carnivore diet. Fairly strict. Today I'm having steak and eggs. Steak and eggs, really? How is anyone supposed to live like this?
It seemed like he made changes to his diet overnight. No second guessing, no considering the medication, no turning back. It was a little bit for me to get used to. I was taught, as most of us were, that we needed fruits and vegetables. But I also knew he was trying to get healthy to stay alive for me and the kids. There were immediate changes that I noticed. He has never slapped his belly so much before in his life. He began to lose weight quickly, and it seemed like he had more energy and enthusiasm. He also continued to research the carnivore diet, looking for confirmation that this was the right choice for him, and he continued to find evidence that he was on the right track.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can run up and down this hill. What am I thinking? Maybe that was a bad idea. I tried though. I tried. Maybe I should get on YouTube and see how they use this thing for real. I bought this 35-pound weight. I thought it was gonna be lighter than that. One thing's funny, last night I was sleeping and I had this dream that I had this weight with me in my dream, and I was just carrying it everywhere that I went. And I didn't realize it when I bought it. This is like how much weight that I lost. And I'm like, I carried this thing around with me all the time. The 35 pounds itself is a lot. That's like, it's almost 4 gallons of milk. I guess I could practice bringing in the groceries.
Of course, his lab work at 140 Days Carnivore confirmed what he had suspected. This way of eating reversed the diabetes diagnosis within 4 months. I never would have guessed we would see a turnaround quite so fast. And soon after that, he hit 1,000 subscribers on his channel. Why does that matter? Because he wasn't someone doing something crazy in isolation. He had found and then developed a community of like-minded people who were tired of just taking the pills and were looking for ways to take control of their own health.
I was a little discouraged because they didn't ask me, what kind of diet were you on? They didn't ask me much. It just seemed like they just wanted to put me on drugs again. They just wanted me to go straight towards drugs. And they're like, oh, well, it's 5.7 and it's an improvement, but you're still have a risk factor, which I want some little personality in my notes, but I guess they're just stating the facts. Okay, well, here's a fact, Jack. I'm not quitting. I'm not giving up. I found a new way of eating.
Not too long after that, I did my first carnivore challenge. Aaron had been making his own meals and I was cooking for myself and the kids, and it was fine, but I wanted to get an idea of what this was like for him. I committed myself to 30 days of carnivore and documented that journey. I, of course, lost weight, but more than that, found better ways to support Aaron and developed an empathy for the way he was choosing to live. Not that eating steak regularly needs much sympathy. Here we are. I finished 30 days. I didn't cheat. I enjoyed the experience. It was unique. It was hard on some days. It was really a lifesaver, I feel like, on some days. It was a good experience and I am glad that I did it. Overall numbers, if you will, I dropped 7 pounds in 30 days. Again, cutting out all carbs, all sugars. All I ate was meat and coffee. I kept coffee because I like coffee. I lost 2 inches on my waist. I lost 1.5 inches on my hips, and the other numbers didn't change significantly, but I thought it was funny because I usually get up in the morning and run a few days a week or walk. I have these pants that I wore in high school, actually, when I played hockey. I was wearing them to go running as it started getting colder, and they kept falling off, and I was like, this is a beautiful thing. My pants from high school, I'm like having to hike up constantly. That made me actually kind of delighted.
Yeah, you know Dad's on the playground by the screams of the kids.
So this will be fun.
Yeah, hopefully I don't blow my shoulders.
Can you push us?
Yeah.
Dad, can you push us?
Yeah, hold on
Hey,
tight.
what's this ice cream? Is it Dairy Queen?
I remember clearly his delight when he announced that he could put his shoes on without sitting down. I also heard about his coworkers challenging him to a race, how he sprinted across the parking lot because he could, and how he felt a desire to move and work his body. Although he has always had a physical job, these were non-scale victories that were spurring on his progress. There were challenges, and one was figuring out how to navigate this way of eating in social situations. What do you do when you're going out on a date night? Out with a group from church? Camping? Figuring out how to navigate these situations with grace took a moment. Mostly it involved planning ahead and either choosing a restaurant that served portions of meat or bringing his own. It also took a willingness to be the weird one, the guy who only eats meat, or standing out in the crowd.
Ugh.
I am comfortably stuffed. And I didn't eat it all. I ate most of it.
I was struggling a bit at this point, pushing back against some of the things I had learned growing up about food and nutrition. Aaron was sharing a lot of his research with me, but frankly, I didn't want to confront what I ate too much. I already ate mostly low carb and low sugar, and I didn't want to move past that. I was willing to listen, though, and was slowly seeing changes in how I thought about food, how we fed our kids, and what food options we kept in our home.
Really been thinking differently about food, and the one thing I will say already is I like sweet coffee, and I had been buying these sugar-free syrups from the store to use in my coffee, like as a flavoring and as a sweetener, and just cutting those out. I'm like, okay, black coffee is not nearly as gross as I thought it was going to be. And somebody on one of the comments said, make sure you get decent beans, like that's going to make a big difference. And it was also recommended that I put a little bit of salt in it, which cuts some of that bitterness too. And both of those suggestions have been awesome. So that was really helpful. But already I'm like, I don't want to go back to adding all those chemicals and sweeteners and like the flavorings back in. I feel like I was already feeling a little convicted that they weren't super healthy for me. And so this has been one of those things where it's like, okay, I can handle not having sweet coffee.
One of the hardest videos for me, Aaron put out, was his 230-day lab video where he talked specifically about his cholesterol levels. He was simply sharing his story and his journey, and the comments caught me so off guard. People came from all over to make sure he knew what a terrible choice he had made and how he was going to die, and how he was doing everything wrong. I was ready to tell him to quit this diet and start eating normally again, but that didn't seem right either. So we talked. I told him that I was unsure, but I knew he was continuing to research and make the best choices he could. I also told him I would not be reading any of the comments on this video or any other personal, medically related video from here on out. He went straight from there into a lion diet. I'm sure the haters didn't think he'd double down, but that's exactly what came next.
Come with me and we will see what Carnivore now does for you and me.
He did 30 days of meat from ruminant animals and filmed every day of it. It was pretty intense, but offered him a fresh challenge and a new motivation. I thought he might just be crazy, but we'd come this far.
Test.
We kept an eye on things and the results were clear. He was more fun to be around. He had so much more energy. There was more fun with the kids. I mean, how many dads climb a statue and do pull-ups? All signs were this diet was transforming his life and radically changing how he was able to interact with the world around him. His 320-day lab video I never watched. I didn't read the comments. I saw some of the hate and chose to ignore the rest. At this point, we knew that the cholesterol was still high. We knew his blood pressure spiked while he was in a doctor's office, but he was fine when he was monitoring at home. We knew that things were not exactly picture perfect, but he was continuing to make the best choices he could for our family, and I was confident in that, even with doubt and some worry about what it might mean. At this point, we were redefining healthy for our kids too, and they were starting to see changes in what food they were eating. We switched from oatmeal regularly to eggs regularly. Cereal was a treat on the weekends. We started making more snacks at home instead of using store-bought, and I have heard more than one kid say, "Let's read the ingredients." None of them are carnivores, but they are embracing some healthier choices. The July walking challenge was a fun one because I often got to join him and found that taking a walk together was good for our bodies and our marriage. He also filmed a lot of walk and talks on these days, which led him to sharing a lot more about his faith and getting even more comfortable with the camera. Aaron's touched on all sorts of topics like body dysmorphia that I didn't even consider would be a thing for someone who had seen such obvious physical change, but after staying that way for some time, which should have been a victory, it made sense. The entire sugar smackdown challenge was frustrating to me because I wasn't ready to confront my demons yet, but here they were on center stage. Or it could be the weather, it could be the shirt I'm wearing, it could be, and so I kind of had a little bit of a meltdown because who knows? I mean,
At some point, who knows what is causing these reactions.
His beef, butter, bacon, egg challenge came after that, and he was filming again daily.
Okay, well, I did it. I actually felt pretty good. I'm tired today, which is not like like, have you ever woke up feeling like after a night, like taking a sleeping pill, and you woke up and you just feel tired still? Yeah, that's how I feel. Like, but it's not horrible. It's like my body is ready to rest. Unfortunately, but fortunately, I'm going to work today. I might have to tap out on this one. It's bigger in person.
Although it's often good to tighten things up, this time it came with low energy and less enjoyment. There was weight loss, but it wasn't drastic. It seemed to be more disappointing, but also was eye-opening. It was during this challenge that we talked a lot about the future and what was to come in his diet and ways of eating. While there are some who will say they'll never eat anything but carnivore, we were kicking around the idea that if it is necessary long-term. Where do we go from here? The goal is the same: to stay alive and live well for his family, for me, the kids. Carnivore helped him reverse the type 2 diabetes and really helped him and me learn about food, nutrition, and perseverance. Where do we go from here?
I'm gonna fight for my family!
Thanks.
Did I talk too fast?